How's it going, everyone? So, I realize it's been a long time since I've made a video. People are probably like thinking I'm dead or something. But no, I just really honestly have not been in the mood to make a video lately. Just, I don't know. Kind of been in a funk lately. But I got the remodeling done, shit like that. I mean, it's not completely done, but it's done enough. I don't think I'll really need to be doing much else myself. But since then, you know, I've just been working on tons of different weird things. For one, this thing, fuck, if you can tell, it looks a little different. It looks nice and shiny and shit again. I sanded it all the way down to the wood. Holy shit. Okay, Fender, I don't know what the fuck their deal is, but they put, there had to be at least 9 mils of poly on this on the top of this guitar, which is like, what the fuck? Why would you ever need to put that much? I cannot explain how much I sanded the top of this guitar before I finally got to wood. And there seemed to be like multiple layers of something different. It was really weird. I can't really explain it. But, I mean, I sanded it before and told you guys about it, but I didn't even get near the top, the actual wood. I was like, holy shit. When I actually went and, you know, I used an electric sander this time because I was just like, what the fuck? I just want to see how much is here before I actually get to wood. And I did one spot, which is like right here, and I mean, the dip inwards is like, holy shit. And that is when I had already taken off a bunch, too. Like, I fucking hand sanded this thing to death. So to see that there was that much still on it, that kind of blew my mind. It's like, why the fuck would you ever put that much coating on the top of an acoustic? The whole fucking sound of the guitar is the top vibrating. This is your soundboard right here. Why would you fucking coat it in this super hard, super thick coating and put, I mean, endless amounts? I cannot believe how much was actually on this thing. And I should have realized when you could turn it sideways and it almost looked, you could see the grain was underneath like a bunch of layers of this clear. You could see it was way down further than what you were actually seeing. And so it was a bitch trying to get this stuff all off. The only parts I didn't really get off is, you know, right around the edges of the bridge and just a tiny bit right here on the edges. But pretty much everything else looks much better. Sprayed it with nitro. I did like 4 or 5 coats of that and then buffed it out and did all my shit with it. And now it's, you know, it sounds a lot better. I'm sure I mean, it's not going to make a whole lot of fucking difference on camera when I don't have a side-by-side comparison, but believe me, there's a lot more projection with it and a lot more depth to it. I don't understand why they would do that. This is a solid top too, so I have no fucking clue why they would want to kill that sound like that. Because this is pretty nice spruce. Like, it's not bad wood on the guitar. But I don't know. I have to ask Fender. That's just like my Strat. When I redid this thing, I had the same problem. There was so much fucking coating on this thing, I could barely even get to the wood. You know, having to chip it off, the chips were like, bam, like that thick. It was like, what the fuck, man? It's so unnecessary to put that much coating on any guitar. It's just retarded. So, I had to put the kibosh on that with this thing. I didn't do the sides or the back or anything, because I don't really give a fuck about that kind of stuff. You know, I kind of wanted to leave that harder coating on this shit just in case, you know, banging it up against stuff. This is the sides and the back are usually where what would get banged up. You know, because I try to keep the top nice. Because like I said, it's the soundboard of the guitar. But yeah, also I spent a bunch of time going through my Strat and setting that up again, just kind of trying to find its perfect setup, and I did. It's that guitar. It's fucking awesome now. I mean, it's amazing. I wish you guys could play it. I wish I could like hand it through the camera to people to be like, check this out, just play it, just try it. It's fucking awesome. It really is awesome. I'm glad that I went through one last time and kind of, you know, tweaked everything. Really went through every aspect of the whole guitar just to try to find the perfect setup for it, especially for the size of strings that I'm using and stuff. On that guitar, I use 46 through or 9 through 46, so it's like a hybrid set. And with those two Texas Special single coils, it's just fucking awesome. Oh my god. Again, I would like to get a different bridge pickup for it, but that's down the road. I'm not even planning on that. My next venture, and what I've been really trying to work towards and shit, you know, trying to save money and stuff, you know, I'm going to get off of getting picks for a while because I really fucking want a 7-string. And I got really close to getting one the other day because there was this Ibanez RGD 7421. They're fucking retarded guitar names and shit, but that's what it was. And it had it up for $383, which that guitar goes for a lot more. It's a 26.5 scale 7-string, which is what I want. I want a longer scale 7-string. I don't want a fucking 25.5 7 7-string. Because what's the point? I mean, you're getting a lower range guitar, and then you're not going to lengthen it to handle that lower range. It kind of blows my mind that they would even make 6-string guitars in 25.5. I think all 6-string or 7 strings. God, I keep going back and forth 6 and 7. I think all 7 strings should be 26.5, 27. I don't know about 28, but 27, 26.5. That's pretty much fucking perfect for a 7-string guitar. And this thing, like the day I got everything, you know, ready, you know, I talked people into lending me money so I could get the thing. And the day I did, the fucking thing's gone. I was like, oh, no! Because I've wanted a 7-string for so fucking many years. It's retarded. It's been forever. I want an Ibanez, but I want it to be a longer scale, and the RGD, it's the epitome of what I want as a 7-string. At least for my first 7-string. You know, I want an Ibanez just because Ibanez was the originator of the 7-string electric. And it's just kind of a nostalgia thing for me. You know, Korn is what turned me on to the 7-string sound and their guitar tone and shit. You know, it's still to this day I go back and listen to their old records and shit, and the crushing, fucking devastating guitar tone that they had. And it just, there's something about it. I'm obsessed with that tone. The tone on their album is one of the perfect tones in my opinion. You know what I mean? Like, as far as metal goes, what my favorite tone is, and that's also led me to think that I really need to get a fucking triple rectifier. But looking at the price of that motherfucker, I don't think that will be happening anytime soon. So I'll make do with my PV Triple X. But, I mean, you can't beat that combination. I listened to those fucking albums, and every one of the albums, they get just, each time it's different, but they get the most awesome fucking guitar tone, especially for 7-string. And yeah, I realized that they played with 25.5 scale 7-strings back then, but now Head from Korn is playing the RGD, which is longer scale. And when they recorded their last album and probably this album, every guitar that they went through, they actually went back to Head's guitar, the 26.5 scale guitar, because it just sounds better. I've told people that forever. You know, my baritone, my Schecter, it just sounds better than any other guitar that I play. There's nothing that really compares to it. And that's why. It's because it's a longer scale. For rhythms and shit, for that chunky fucking just devastating girthy tone, but having it tight to where it's not flubby and, you know, kind of washy sounding, you cannot beat that longer scale. So, you know, that's what I've been obsessing over recently. I've been listening. I don't know what the deal is, but I've gotten into a huge Korn kick again, and ever since I'm like, God damn it, I have to get a 7-stringer. I'm gonna go nuts. You know, and the only reason I don't have one already, why I've never gotten one, is because I was still a pretty smart guitar player, and back in the day when I was playing with my bands all the time, I mean, we were playing every week, like constantly. We were constantly playing. There wasn't very many weekends, you know, very many weeks where we didn't play a show. And it was like, well, you know, I wanted to get guitars that would fit with what I was doing, so I'd get practical guitars instead of what I really wanted. You know, it was like, okay, well, we're playing in the first band, we're playing in drop D, so I got to get. I had my Schecter first, and then I was like, well, you know, since this is a baritone, you know, it does better with lower tuning, so I should get another guitar, which I got the Fernandez for, you know, drop D and stuff, and that became my main guitar for that stuff. And then the next band going to drop C, you know, I kept with the two guitars there, but I would also keep another guitar in a different tuning, so I got another guitar, and then I needed backups for both of them. So that's basically how I've acquired all my guitars. It's just trying to be smart about what I'm doing, especially because I was always playing shows. It's weird now because I haven't played a fucking show for years and years. It's been, the last show I played was, God, 2009. Holy shit. I can't believe that, actually. That's crazy. I didn't even think about that. It just seems like yesterday. That's fucking weird. But anyways, yeah, that's basically why I acquired the guitars that I did. And, you know, I'm the type of person that I grow kind of an attachment to the instruments that I have, especially when I, you know, go through and do my thing to them. You know, a lot of guitar players don't really, they'll throw stickers and shit on stuff, but that's about it. I mean, I go through and I customize everything. I make everything, you know, tits. So it's my guitar, you know what I mean? Even if someone has the same model guitar as me, it's not going to be the same as my guitar. The only guitar that I've kept basically stock, the only things that I've really done is put strap locks on it and different knobs, is the EC1000. And, you know, I thought about selling my Jackson, my red Jackson guitar, to try to get a 7-string, but, you know, seeing as how if I save money and then I sell that guitar, I could get a really nice 7-string. But I don't know. I don't know. I'd feel weird not having a guitar with a Floyd Rose on it, because I still like playing Pantera and shit like that. So, you know, I'd like to have a guitar, at least one guitar for every situation that I want to do. That's why I even got the fucking Strat in the first place. It's just because I wanted a guitar where I could, you know, go off and play blues and all sorts of different shit that I want. You know, it's not this guitar isn't one of those guitars where it's metal. You know, I keep it in a fairly high tuning, and I've got a lot of different options for sounds on the guitar, so I can do basically whatever the fuck I want with it. And it works well for that. But my other guitars are kind of one-trick ponies. Like they're all loaded with EMGs. You know, they're stage guitars. They're for my metal playing and shit like that. But nowadays, because I've kind of switched my modes and gone to such a deeper tuning. I know people like, oh yeah, fucking just drop tune everything, blah blah blah. But I love the sound. Like to me, there's no better sound than, you know, a drop tune guitar and a fucking nice high gain amp, but you keep the bottom end nice and tight. And it has this crunch and this kind of punch to it that I don't know, you don't get in other tunings. Even in drop C. Like drop C, I used to play in that all the time. And, you know, that sounded good. But when I tune it down to drop B, it's like, oh, fuck yeah. And then I tune my fucking Schecter down to drop A. It's like, oh yeah. Oh yeah. Right now I have the Schecter tuned to a 7-string tuning so I can play Korn shit because I've been fucking obsessed lately. But I have to get a 7-string. So that's my next goal. Then I can put everything back to the way it was. But I'm pretty excited about this thing because now it'll be able to kind of open up and, you know, age like a normal guitar should. And, you know, it'll get wear and stuff on the top. I can't wait. I've always wanted to have a nice acoustic where, you know, I could have it for my whole fucking life, you know, and hand it down to someone if I want to later on. But it's all, you know, it looks like you've had it for a long time sort of deal. So I can't wait to wear this thing in. I'm not going to relic it or anything. I'm just going to play the shit out of it and see what it does. But I'll show you a little bit of what it sounds like. I got a few different new picks, some weird picks. I got these weird Dava picks that like thin out in the middle. They are multi-gauge technically, like wherever you hold them is it. If you hold it further back, it's a light pick. If you hold it way up, it's a heavy pick. It's pretty cool. I haven't played this song for a long time. This is a weird song I wrote. It's got like a bunch of open shit. I don't want to play the rest, but that song actually sounds pretty good when you play it right. It's just fucking weird. I also, one of the things I changed, I put on because trying to see what Scott Grove's deal is with polywebs. You know, he loves polywebs and shit. And talked to a few different people that say they're fucking awesome and shit. And they last really long. But so I got some. I got 12 to 56 set just to kind of try them out. And I don't know. Once you're used to playing, you know, regular strings and even lightly coated strings, like I've been playing with the, you know, the Diodario fucking EHX or whatever the fuck, the coated strings that they have. And even some of the Ernie Ball Everlast strings, I've been playing some of those too. And even with that light coating, it still feels relatively like a normal string. Personally, I love the feel of just a straight up string. And honestly, I think that Martin Monel strings, Martin Retro, whatever, they're made out of Monel. I think those are the best strings on the market. They last a lot longer than normal, like bronze strings and shit like that. I think they just sound better, and they have more bend to them. It yields more of a kind of a stringy sort of playing. It feels a little bit more like electric guitar. But I like to try everything. I tried Polywebs a long time ago on a different guitar, and I liked them back then on that guitar. It feels weird on this guitar just because I'm so used to the way it normally is. They're barely even broken into. I just got this shit finished yesterday. Just yesterday. I mean, I can still smell fresh nitro on the top. I love that smell. It's fucking, that is the best smell ever. A freshly nitroed guitar. That smell, it's got almost a sweet smell to it. It's really cool. It's really not good to sit there and smell the fumes and shit of that, but because it's super fucking toxic. That's why it's not really used anymore. But man, for guitars, you can't beat that fucking coating. I'm sorry. It's thin. It doesn't fuck with the guitar's resonation or anything. It gives it a protective layer, and it lets it kind of age itself. You know what I mean? Now the top can breathe. That's one of the biggest things is for an acoustic guitar. You know, for the top to get nice and aged, it needs to breathe and kind of, you know, have that molecular structure change within it. And that's how they do that torrefication and stuff now. That's basically what happens over time when you naturally let your guitar age. So I'm excited to hear that. And, you know, the guitar already sounds fucking great right now because of all the shit that I've done to it. If you guys saw this thing when I first got it, it was just another fucking cheapo guitar. I've done all this nice shit to it. Tusk bridge saddle and all these nice bronze fucking deals and with abalone in them. The top work, the fret job, the neck, everything. I've fucking done everything to this guitar. Like I said, all my guitars, I give them my little touch to them. They're never just stock, just normal ass guitars. But so yeah, I just wanted to leave you guys off with a fucking question because I've had this gripe recently. Do you guys think it's absolutely retarded how many overdrive pedals are made nowadays? Because I'm absolutely fed up with seeing how many fucking overdrive pedals every single day. I'm subscribed to like every guitar channel out there. And that's all I fucking see all the time. And every fucking time they show these things, it's like they all sound almost identical. I mean, there's enough overdrive pedals out there. You're never going to get overdrive pedals that sound radically different. You know, those pedals have already been made. You've got the fucking Klon type of overdrive, then you got the Tube Screamer type of overdrive. There's only so many overdrives until it's like, okay, they've all been made now. You don't need to keep fucking remaking and remaking and remaking all these fucking pedals. It's just retarded. Think of other shit. Do new things. Or recreate things that aren't really made anymore. Things like that. I don't know. What do you guys think? Tell me in the comments below. Talk to you later.